Greetings, everyone. My name is Vanessa Stokes, and I'm a board member here at the K-Rhine Center for the Arts. It's called the Austin Renaissance Council. I'm also a resident of Austin, and I'm the owner of VS Creative Consulting, where I manage Special Service Area 72 on Chicago Avenue in the Austin community. I want to welcome you, Mayor Lightfoot, the City of Chicago elected officials, the Austin community, and anyone else at home watching. Welcome, and thank you for being here. This is an amazing and newly renovated 900-seat theater located on Chicago's West Side. We are the home of innovative ideas, conversations, and programming. On April 1st of this year, we created a second of our series of conversations called the Symposium on Racial Reconciliation. This second part is focused on housing, looking through the lens of the Austin Forward Together Plan, Austin's Quality of Life Plan. The Committee for the Symposium on Racial Reconciliation decided to focus on housing because we see home buying as a way for Austin residents to build wealth. I am so excited to be here today because of the Invest Southwest initiative that was created by Mayor Lightfoot to address obvious disinvestment in the communities on the South and West Sides. I'm sure this will be one of many press conferences to show how the City of Chicago is working with the community to spark investment and development.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Samir Mayakar, and I'm proud to serve as Mayor Lightfoot's Deputy Mayor for Neighborhood and Economic Development. I'd first like to say thank you to Vanessa and especially to Move Me Soul. That was absolutely beautiful. Now, Move Me Soul is a great artist group that has roots here in Austin, and I think we're going to have a wonderful event because I can't think of a better way to start it than with some Nina Simone. So I'd like to also say thank you to the K-Rhine Center for the Arts and Catalyst Schools for hosting us today. This beautiful space was vacant for 45 years until it reopened in 2019, and it's a testament to the potential for our city's neighborhoods and especially for the Austin community. Now, it's hard to believe, but just 1 year ago, we were starting to come to terms with COVID. But as difficult as the past year has been for the city and for our country, we are here today to say that the work of Invest Southwest has never stopped, and it is more urgent now than ever before. Even when we finally defeat COVID, the core principles driving Invest Southwest, inclusion, community wealth building, and equity will continue. I'd like to introduce someone who has focused on these issues throughout her career, which included stints as the mayor of Gary, Indiana, as Indiana Attorney General, and now as the president and CEO of the Chicago Urban League. Karen Freeman Wilson took over her role at the Chicago Urban League just before COVID struck, and she worked with us as co-chair of the Mayor's Recovery Task Force to help guide a vision for us to recover from COVID. And that was the first plan published by any American city as we look to recover out of COVID. She can offer us insight and inspiration for this moment. So Karen, please join us here on the stage.
Good afternoon. One of my first trips to Austin was as a teenager to see Pastor Brunson and hear the Tommies. And today to come back and see the tremendous art of Move Me Soul took me immediately back to the rich cultural roots of this community. But today, we're here to talk about something in addition to culture. To Mayor Lightfoot, to Alderman Moore, Alderman Coleman, Alderman Mitz, and to any other elected officials who may be here and that I didn't have an opportunity to greet, to the members of this community, particularly to those who are responsible for this wonderful building that we're in. It is my honor to greet you on behalf of the board and staff of the Chicago Urban League and to commend the mayor and her team as well as the Board of Aldermen on the Invest Southwest initiative and the announcement that we're here for today. The past year has not only seen a life-changing pandemic, but it has seen cries for social justice and the elimination of structural racism here in Chicago and all over the world. And while the Chicago Urban League has been fighting for over 100 years for just that, we are excited now to have others who have taken up the banner with us. But here's what we know, and here's what I'm sure all of you have seen. It's not easy. It would be very easy to issue an RFP, Mayor, that called for the same thing by the same people to create the same projects and opportunities. But Invest Southwest has been different. It's been different because you're looking for developers and architects and builders and people who look like me. That's right. It's been different because the community has had a voice in this. And the difference is not only in the planning, but it's also in the results. Because the projects that you'll hear about later have been planned and created with the community in mind. Over the course of the last year, we've heard people talk a lot about building wealth. How do you build wealth? You build wealth through home ownership. You build wealth through the creation of businesses and providing opportunities for entrepreneurship. But you also build wealth by passing on opportunities from generation to generation. And that's really what we're talking about today. We know that structures don't change easily. We know that power concedes nothing without a struggle. But I am so excited that we are starting here and creating opportunity here in Austin, in Englewood, in Auburn Gresham, and in other places on the south and west side. And I cannot tell you how committed and how excited the Chicago Urban League is to be a partner in this work. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. The mayor has said from the start that we need to focus on Chicago's neighborhoods to support its businesses, residents, and entrepreneurs. And that's why right now we have a new round of the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund open, accepting applications for up to $250,000 to assist entrepreneurs on the south and west side. So please help us spread the word. And that's why we are working with the Chicago Prize winner in Auburn Gresham and the finalists in Austin, Englewood, North Lawndale, and other communities to drive change. And that's why every day the mayor and I talk with our partners in the federal government, state government, county, in the philanthropic sectors, and the private sector to say that Invest Out West is all hands on deck. And when you see what plans the communities have put together with city support later today, you will be truly inspired. These community-driven plans were shaped by our friends at CCAC, which brought top-notch architects to help with the RFP designs. And to share more about these visions and to share why Invest Southwest is so important, it is my true honor to introduce the person who started us on this journey, who puts the neighborhoods and equity and inclusion at the center of her administration, my boss, Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's very generous. I just want to thank everyone for being here. Do you feel the level of excitement and buzz in this room? I certainly do. And I think that what that tells us is this is a new day. This is a new day in Austin. This is a new day in Auburn Gresham and a new day in Englewood. Let me take a moment to recognize the other leaders that are here today. In addition to Deputy Mayor for Economic and Neighborhood Development, Samir Mayakar, we have Alderman Mitz, Alderman Moore, Alderman Coleman. That's right, give them a round of applause. You heard from my friend Karen Wilson Freeman, former mayor of Gary and the CEO of the Chicago Urban League, and she is already making dramatic progress with the Urban League and putting them on the map in a way that they've never been before. So thank you, Karen, for your incredible leadership. We also have the Department of Planning and Development Commissioner Maurice Cox, who we stole from Detroit and is making great waves here. Commissioner Cox. Artist, community organizer, and West Side resident Vanessa Stokes. And of course, our Invest Southwest RFP winners, who you'll hear from shortly. Today is just more than a great day for Invest Southwest communities. It's a milestone in our city's journey of improvement from the inside out by empowering residents to become change makers within their communities. When I became mayor, we laid a path for our city, guided by our North Stars of equity and inclusion, to bring transformative and visible change to historic South and West Side neighborhoods, to fully unlock the potential in those communities and across our entire city by uplifting and honoring the talent that was hidden, but we needed to tap into across our neighborhoods. We knew this couldn't be done simply by throwing money at the problem our residents were facing. We need to start listening to the communities we wanted to transform and partner with them in this work. And we need to work from the ground up and build on the plans that our community groups had in many instances already begun, but were lacking a partner in City Hall to make those visions for a new day in their communities come to life. That means building new plans in partnership with communities, and importantly, harnessing the collective power of Chicago's government, private, philanthropic, and community sectors to make neighborhood development and empowerment, as Samir said, an all-hands-on-deck endeavor. Invest Southwest, our signature $750 million neighborhood investment initiative, is the result of that vision. And now, almost a year and a half since we announced it in October, also on the West Side, October of 2019 on the West Side, to a standing room only crowd, we are starting to see the fruits of that labor. That's why today we're here to congratulate and celebrate the winners of the first round of our city's Invest Southwest Request for Proposals program in 3 neighborhoods, just the start: Auburn Gresham, Austin, and Englewood. And let me tell you for a moment what has been completely different about the way in which we've gone about making these investments. First, and importantly, is the level of community engagement. This has been historic. This is not a circumstance where the 5th floor conceives of an idea, we check the box on community engagement, and then do what we were planning to do in the first place. No, this has been very, very different. We brought unprecedented collaboration between community members, leading architects and developers, and community development organizations in all of these 3 neighborhoods. centered community voices through visioning sessions, roundtable feedbacks, and community surveys. As I said, we didn't simply check the box on community engagement. The process was intentional and extensive. And we came to the table to start by listening to community voices. And we made each development application also come to these tables to listen and learn from the community. Another unique and historic aspect of these investments was our emphasis on community wealth building. As part of this RFP process, we required the applicants to articulate concrete plans for creating economic opportunities for people in the communities that they wanted to build in. Not just say it, but give us your specific plans on how you were going to generate wealth in these communities. And that was a significant factor in the decision-making that was made. We also place emphasis on highlighting the talent in Black and brown communities, making sure that each of these teams had people who look like the communities that they were preparing to serve. These are important difference makers in how we are doing economic development in this city. This, folks, is how you create tangible, visible, and transformative change. With input from our residents who have the pulse in their communities and who know exactly what they want to see in their neighborhoods, and with support from public and private sector partners who have resources to develop the socioeconomic catalysts for our communities. And as a result of our equity-based and inclusion-driven approach, DPD received a total of 12 proposals from both small and large developers, many of them minority-owned. Each of these high-quality proposals was assessed by an evaluation committee based on a variety of factors, including, as I mentioned, experience, diversity, community feedback, and emphasis on creating wealth in communities. And after all of that, it was 3 project proposals that rose above the pack that will now become Auburn Gresham, Austin, and Englewood's new catalyst for positive growth and change. Now, in just a few minutes, Commissioner Cox is going to reveal each of these winning proposals and tell you a little bit about them. But let me also emphasize, we are awakening the sleeping beauties of the former Laramie Bank building in Austin and Green Street Fire Station in Englewood. And once completed, each of these incredible projects will create jobs, strengthen their neighborhoods, and unlock the full potential of their communities. What we were intentional about making sure is that these investments would be force multipliers in these communities. And let me just add that our work doesn't end here. Instead, every day, leading up to ribbon cutting for each of these projects, the City of Chicago will continue to partner with the community and the developers to make sure that the visions articulated actually become real. We are committed to seeing this all the way through. And we will bring funders and financial institutions to the table to ensure that these plans have enough capital and other essential resources. These projects, along with the others currently in the works, thanks to another round of RFPs in our Invest Southwest communities, prove that our goal of empowering communities through this incredible initiative continues to blaze forward brighter than ever. Now, even in the course of the pandemic, we continued to make important investments. And folks, to date, and my number may be a little out of date, but $70 million of city dollars has drawn $300 million in private investment. And make no mistake, when we support historically disadvantaged neighborhoods, the whole city benefits. And I said this before, but I'll say it again. When I became mayor, there were many people across the city, murmurs, fearful, that I didn't understand development, that I didn't understand what needed to happen to really catalyze the work of this city, that I was paying too much attention and talking too much about neighborhoods and not enough about downtown. But folks, we cannot be a great global city when our neighborhoods are starving. We cannot. So let me say this to the investors and the developers and the skeptics. Take heed. In Chicago, we have a new way of doing business. And it is called equitable, inclusive growth in neighborhoods, which lifts everybody up all over the city. I am unapologetic about my focus on making sure that we build wealth in our neighborhoods. That's the way that we stabilize our neighborhoods. We give our young people a taste of what the future looks like, and we truly build wealth, and all the talent that is out there that hasn't gotten a shot is now getting a shot. We are open for business for everyone and not just for the clouded few. Now, we couldn't do this work without the partnership of many people. And you all know who you are, and I want to thank you, but I want to particularly call out the elected officials who are here with us today. Our friends, Alderman Stephanie Coleman from Englewood, Alderman David Moore, and Alderman Emma Mitz for their fierce advocacy for their communities to ensure that their communities have what they need to thrive. I also want to give a special shout out to Austin Corridor Manager Malcolm Crawford for helping to bring Invest Southwest goals to life. Thank you, Malcolm. And I'm excited for you to hear who these winners are, each of whom is incredibly talented, committed, and we will make sure that these projects become real because of the work that they have already put into them. Each of your contributions will ensure that our recovery from this terrible pandemic is truly equitable and inclusive, and that Chicago remains a city built by the people and for the people for years to come. With that, it's my great pleasure to welcome Commissioner Cox to the podium for the unveiling of our winners. Thank you.
Woo! I'm excited. Oh, man. Thank you, Mayor Lightfoot, for everything you've done to bring us to this moment of the grand reveal. We've all been waiting, and I think your commitment to underserved, disinvested communities is inspiring. And I don't think it could be better illustrated than by the Invest Southwest projects that you will see in very short order. As the mayor said, each of these projects is the product of a community-driven process that starts and ends with the people they seek to serve. In fact, as the mayor said, when she launched Invest Southwest a year and a half ago, and we were here in this space as well, that the stakeholders of Austin, Englewood, and Auburn Gresham will help not only to guide this, but they'll tell us what priority corridors we should be working in, the specific sites that represent the greatest opportunities, and the desired uses that would help their communities heal and grow and prosper. So all that public input involved literally thousands of people who helped create the 3 RFPs that the city issued last year. Each of these RFPs included conceptual designs, as was mentioned, that were provided by some of Chicago's best known architecture firms, as well as very, very explicit mandates for minority and women business ownership and community participation. And we got 12 proposals. And they went through an incredible scrutiny, community scrutiny this winter, through neighborhood roundtable meetings, other public meetings, formal surveys that were issued, and comments that helped to identify today's winners. So I want to thank everyone who participated in those multiple incremental steps that led literally to the stage of the Karen Center so we could be moved by Move Me Soul. This is an amazing day for Chicago neighborhoods. I think all of the proposals demonstrated an incredibly strong commitment to some of the local needs, to social equity, to minority and women business participation, and to important community wealth building. To the developers everywhere that are committed to these values of equitable development and inclusive growth, I can assure you there are many, many more opportunities, both large and small, as we move forward through the West and South Side. So we want you to consider those opportunities as well. And as the mayor mentioned, I also just want to thank the aldermen who represent these development sites. I mean, Alderman Mitz, you are a fierce advocate for your community. And my partner, Alderman Coleman, I have enjoyed your ability to set this on its right trajectory and prepare your community for this work. And to Alderman Moore, thank you. This is now our second project working together, and we could not do this without you, so thank you. So we are going to look forward to the ongoing coordination with your offices and your constituents, so as today's winners go on to refine their work in the months ahead. And so, without further delay, let's announce the winners, the winning projects and the teams that are going to help us in this renaissance in Austin, Englewood, and Auburn Gresham. So we'll start right here in Austin. How about that? The city worked with residents to identify about 1.5 mile stretch of Chicago Avenue as the priority corridor. And the northwest corner of Chicago and Laramie as our target site for this new catalytic investment. This 34,000 square foot location includes 5 vacant lots and the iconic Laramie State Bank building, which is exceptionally rare example of this Art Deco with this Egyptian-themed feel that will be the center of this proposal. There is literally nothing like it anywhere else in Chicago, and it's a designated city landmark. When we asked residents what buildings they'd love the most, they almost unanimously pointed to this one. And it will be a fitting anchor to the evolving Soul City corridor, thank you, Malcolm, on Chicago Avenue. The RFP asks for developers to rehabilitate the bank building with 1 or more intense community and people-centered uses, and to utilize the adjacent land for a mixed-use construction project. 7 development teams responded, each of which were reviewed by the community in our roundtables, in our neighborhood meetings and surveys. And so this slide shows what it looks like today. And, are you ready? And this image is what it will look like tomorrow, as it's been imagined by our winning development team, whose name I will announce in just a moment. So entering, you have to imagine with me, entering the bank building with your friends to find a cafe and a new bank branch and an interactive museum that celebrates Chicago's seminal contributions to blues music. Also, a business incubator where entrepreneurs of all ages can work on their dreams for a brighter Austin. Outside, there'll be a public plaza with public art and gardens and a gathering space. And next door will be a multi-story mixed-use residential building with 72 units of mixed-income housing that's affordable to all income earners in Austin. This $37.5 million proposal for Austin was created by our winning development team that I am thrilled to announce as Austin United Alliance. Okay, congratulations. So this, as the team makes their way to the stage, this represents an amazing collection of professionals, and we're going to invite them to make a brief remark. Let me just talk to you about the team that they've assembled. It's anchored by Heartland Alliance, the Oak Park Regional Housing, Valerio DeWalt Train, Layton Design, Barra Latazzo, Boa Construction, Rubenos Macia, Engage Civil, Primera, the Chicago Blues Museum, Root Riot, Amoka 24, and Kaya Creative. Can we give them an amazing round of applause?
Thank you, Commissioner Cox. Thank you so much, Mayor Lightfoot, Alderman Mitz. So my name is Athena Williams, and I stand here today before you as a lifelong resident of the West Side, 25-year resident of the Austin community, and I couldn't be even more prouder to say that, oh, where's the picture, that, you know, I'm a part of this project for the community. And so as you may know that I am the executive director of Oak Park Regional Housing Center, but please don't let that name fool you, because we do a lot of work in the Austin community, and we have a very, very deep goal of helping to increase wealth through home ownership. Even though you see before you 72 units of rental, our goal is to make sure that we have conversations with each one of those renters around what it's like to become a homeowner and how they can build wealth through home ownership. In addition to that, we're looking for a strategic partnership with Charmaine Rickett and the Austin African American Business Networking Association to bring more businesses into the community, so that when we have these homeowners, they can service these businesses. We're looking forward to working with Malcolm Crawford and the Chicago Avenue corridor to help bring more businesses in and to increase that. So that's just some of what we'll be doing, and I want to also introduce our team. Everybody here. So we have Earl Chase, the executive director of Heartland Housing. We have Mr.
I'm a president, CEO of Boa Construction.
Thank you for not letting me mess that up. And of course, we have Catherine, our lead team for design. Catherine, come on up and say a few words.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. One of the things that we see as an architecture and urban design firm, Layton Design, is that this is a start of a relationship with a community. This is the part of how we can start to use design as a tool to undo some of the spatial and systemic injustices that we see not only on Chicago Avenue at this corridor, but across the city, which is also what the mayor talked about as well. I'm so fortunate to work with an incredible team that you could see how they will be able to take this project and use it as a catalyst across Chicago. And it's not just the team on the stage, it's also everyone in the audience that is mentioned, because this is a collaborative community project. It's not just one building, it's block after block after block, and that's what this development will do. It will build the blocks, and it starts with just one building, but it's all of us that'll make that happen.
Thank you. So Austin United Alliance. Yeah. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So let's move on to our second announcement, which is in Englewood. It's all good in Englewood. Englewood, of course, is a priority investment community for the city. And given its long and storied history, it is literally at the center of Chicago's South Side. So the RFP site on the 800 block of West 63rd Parkway was identified by residents after confirming the 63rd and Halsted should continue to be the primary target for neighborhood investments. The RFP location is directly northwest of the successful Englewood Square retail development at 63rd and Halsted, which you can see from this slide. The RFP deliberately asks developers to maximize the vacant land behind the shopping center so it would function as an actual community square with multiple uses and resources that engage pedestrians. Also to adaptively revitalize the vacant Engine Company number 84 firehouse that was orphaned after years of public and private disinvestment left it abandoned and almost forgotten. So the city received 4 outstanding proposals that went through a substantial community review and approval process that included roundtables, neighborhood representation, and surveys. And our winning response achieved all of the RFP goals and more. And let's take a look at the winning vision before I announce the team's name. There, here you are. You can easily imagine what a family and friends will experience in the very, very near future. Rather than in abandoned parking lots, they'll venture behind the shopping center to discover an eco-food hub with culinary-related uses that empower, employ, and feed local residents while nurturing the spirit of collaboration around food, sharing, and green initiatives. It will include a breathable community living room that you can see here. It will adaptively reuse the landmark firehouse and turn it into a commercial kitchen and business incubator for local entrepreneurs. And it will repurpose some of the vacant land with hoop houses for year-round growing and agriculture. This $10.3 million proposal for Englewood was created by our winning development team that I'm pleased to announce as Englewood Connect, led by McLaurin Development Group. Congratulations. If representatives of the Englewood Connect could join me on the stage, introduce yourselves, and make some brief remarks. As they come to the stage, this group is comprised of McLaurin Development, Farpoint Development, SOM, TNS Studio, Omni Ecosystems, Engage Civil, RME, DBHMS, GGLD, BOA Construction, Brown Sugar Bakery, Catholic Charities, and Chef David Blackman. Team, congratulations.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm Zeb McLaurin from McLaurin Development Partners, and I've got the lucky part of just assembling a great team, some of whom are here with us today. From our design group, standing right here, Taylor Staten from TNS Studios, Tiara Hughes and David Scully from SOM Architects and Planners, Nosa and Women from Boa Construction, our counsel, Langdon Neal from Neal and Leroy, and of course, all of our consigliere in confidence. He's out in the audience somewhere, Mr. Guion Foreman of Emerald South, who helps us all navigate the community. The business community, particularly developers, are somewhat tried to ward off change. And I think Commissioner Cox has heard me say this before. We were all scratching our heads when these RFPs came out and said, what does design-led mean? And then we were challenged to understand and listen to you to try to translate the new visions of this administration, the new visions of this mayor, and really peel back the onion on what equity and inclusion really means, and what it means for the communities to sustain itself beyond what we do as designing pretty buildings, building great developments, and providing an economic shot in the arm. So I want to thank you for pushing us again, as you've done for the past year plus, in thinking outside the box and being creative outside of what we were accustomed to. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Mayakar, for not only taking that challenge on the architectural side, but ensuring that it is economically feasible for what we are trying to achieve here as well. And of course, Mayor Lightfoot, for demanding that the business community, demanding that the development community meet your goals and objectives, and achieving what we all know is right for the entire city of Chicago, and that is to challenge and connect our resources and our relationships to all of Chicago and all of its neighborhoods. But most importantly, the reason why we do this is for those community residents, those community groups, and those community stakeholders, led by Alderman Coleman. And thank you for pushing us, challenging us, and demanding of us all of what the administration has done through your realm of leadership, your realm of courage, and your realm of challenging and demanding that we all meet the expectations of not only you, but all of your community. Thank you very much.
All right. Congratulations, fantastic. Thank you all. Let's move to our third and final announcement from the first round of Invest Southwest RFPs. Auburn Gresham. All right, Auburn Gresham's in the house. It's in Auburn Gresham where residents helped us to identify the 79th Street as the priority commercial corridor, and the city-owned land on the 800 block of West 79th as the most catalytic location for this new investment. And it's with good reason. The site is approximately a half acre in size. It's directly across the street from the Chicago Prize winning Healthy Hub, which the Auburn Gresham, the Greater Auburn Gresham Development Corporation is developing with city assistance. It's also just a short walk from the planned 79th Street Metro station, as well as the intersection of Halsted and 79th Street. So it will be one of several important economic anchors along this street. We heard from community residents that affordable housing is a local priority, and that the RFP specifically established housing as a goal for the site. The winning vision did an amazing job to capture this sentiment. So this is the image of what 79th Street will look like. A wonderfully designed multi-story building with an active ground floor street, engaging pedestrian-oriented retail uses, and dozens of affordable residential units on the floors above. In maximizing its location across from the Healthy Hub, the site will include resident gardens, public open space, a playground, and adjacent parking. So when commuters approach this site from the nearby metro station, approximately a quarter mile to the east, this entire stretch of 79th Street will accommodate the needs that they have in their community in a coherent, healthy, and health and wellness environment, and a place as well that will be called home. This winning team has produced a $19.4 million proposal, and I'm excited to announce them as the Evergreen Imagine Joint Venture LLC. Congratulations. If representatives could join me on the stage and introduce yourselves. The team includes Evergreen Real Estate Group, the Imagine Group, Ross Barney Architects, NIA Architects, the Carnow Conenbear, and GMA Construction Group. So I present the Evergreen Imagine team.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. First, Mayor, I have lived in this city and worked in this city my entire life. My father and family have invested in the people on the south side of Chicago for over 60 years. And Mayor, I have to stop and applaud you today, because this is the first time in the history of this city that a mayor made a promise to the south and west side of the city and then kept that promise. So thank you, Mayor. No, we could do better than that. I mean, I've seen other mayors promise something, but this mayor has delivered on that promise. Thank you, Mayor. The south and west side of the city thanks you. And we thank you for hiring Commissioner Maurice Cox, the right person to come in and make it happen. So thank you, Commissioner Cox, for working with us. We're honored. I'm Torrey Barrett of Imagine Group, and we're honored to be chosen. I thank my business partner, Fred Spencer, our co-developer, Evergreen Real Estate Group, under the leadership of David Block. You know, I have to say something about Evergreen because they get it. They understand what it means to invest in a smaller minority firm so that one day that minority firm can be the majority firm. So thank you, David. Thank our architect, Carol Ross Barney, architects and her team, for putting up this amazing design. NIA Architects by Anthony Akindelli, we appreciate him. And GMA Construction with Cornelius Griggs and his team. A great group of individuals who are gonna come together and give Austin, not Austin, we applied for Austin too, but for Auburn Gresham to give that community what they deserve. And Alderman Moore, thank you, sir. You worked with us to make sure that, and he pushed us. We had to go back and forth 3 or 4 times. But he said, my community deserves a certain project, and he made sure that that happened. Thank you, Alderman. We appreciate your support on that. And the Department of Planning and Development under Commissioner Cox and his leadership, the Department of Housing under Commissioner Navarro and her leadership, Deputy Commissioner Samir, we appreciate you. Excuse me, Deputy Mayor Samir. And then for the Chicago Community Loan Fund. Even before we were awarded this project, CCLF reached out and said, we want to help with pre-development funding. And that means a lot to developers that are in need of that. So thank you again for this honor, and we look forward to bringing an outstanding project to this neighborhood. Thank you.
Oh, man, this feels so good. I've been waiting quite a while for this to happen, but just thanks to all of the winners and all of the respondents. I think your participation, you can see, is essential to realizing the mayor's vision of Invest Southwest. We are going to continue to allow the community to drive this process. We're looking forward to continuing the partnership in the months ahead. And we also just look forward to the input that the community will continue to give that will shape this and truly make it of the community. So, from the very beginning, that has always been the intention, to try it a different way, to see if we can put the community first and allow them to shape their neighborhoods and to bring top flight, diverse talent to the table. And I think we've achieved that.